Good morning, everyone. How are we all? Well, there's only one thing to talk about this morning. There, Moses itauma stops Jermaine Franklin in 5 rounds. It's funny because beforehand, if you spoke to most people have been following Moses itauma, and that's anyone who follows boxing, kind of thought that it would be a mid-round stoppage. I thought that. I've never done a prediction video. I haven't done one for a while. But speaking to people, I thought that. I think we spoke about it on the WhatsApp group on Saturday night with Bob from Canada's boxing channel and the other lads. And I think most of us thought it was a mid-round stoppage that was going to come. Did we actually fully believe that it was going to be that, or did we just expect it to be that because it was Moses? And at this point, we can't see nothing else. So I was still, although I thought that would happen, I suppose in the back of my mind, I wouldn't have been surprised if Franklin had took him 12 rounds and he'd have won a points victory, a unanimous points victory. But as it was, he stopped him in 5 rounds. Is Moses itauma the best offensive heavyweight currently today? Very possibly. There's a lot of things he does that seemingly a lot of other heavyweights don't, or a lot of other fighters don't. And I believe these are kind of what make him, along with his speed, which is, if you were going to have to, the first thing that screams to you and watching Moses itauma for a heavyweight is his speed. But his speed, his power, his movement. I can't remember who said this. I was listening to a podcast last week and they remarked on this, which is a very good point and a very true point. I think Moses was 9 when he started boxing as an amateur. Now, and this kind of can equate to Usyk as well. When fighters have spent some time in their career or the formative years of their career, like either as a child, like 9 years old, like Moses was when he started, or at a lighter weight, they move differently because they move in a smaller body. So when you look at Moses and you look at other fighters who have been lighter or started very young, when they started their career, when they had like training a puppy in the formative years, you know what I mean? Things carry upwards. So a lot of their movement and the fluidity of movement is born into them from being either a lighter weight or younger, and i.e. at a lighter weight. And even the ones that got to heavyweight, they kind of carry this up. Rather than fighters that started later at heavyweight, say a Johnny Fisher or Fabio Wardley, they started as big men, so they move like big men. Moses started as a young man, a smaller man, and still moves and carries a lot of those movement patterns and sort of that body geometry up with him as he's going up into a bigger man. He still moves as well as a smaller man, sort of like Usyk does. So this is true for a lot of guys. I believe it's true for Moses itauma. That's part of the reason why his movement is so good, so quick and so fluid. A lot of it's down to talent and just natural ability, but I believe a certain amount is because he started very light. And not all guys. Some guys get up and get bigger and end up moving like bigger men. Moses still moves like a smaller man. But it's that, his movement, his power. There's a certain amount of what he does that kind of looks unpredictable from the outside. But having watched it again, I just watched it again a little while ago. I've noticed this a couple of fights back, actually. And whether this is like a Ben Davidson tactic. So Moses itauma, with a lot of fighters, with most fighters, everything comes off the jab. All attacks come off the jab. The range is measured with the jab and everything's come off that. Now with Moses, that is true. He uses his jab. He's got a great jab. It's fast. It's accurate. But what Moses does a lot as well, he leads with a backhand, with a left hand. And what makes this dangerous is, for his opponent, is he'll throw that to head and body. But when he throws it to body, there's no difference in the way he lets the shot go as there is when he throws it to the head. Now, if you watch him, if you go back and watch his fights, you'll see him go straight left hand to the body, straight back hand to the body. Now, rather than sort of dropping and throwing that to the body, he throws it from the same place, and the drop comes after he's let the shot go. So his opponents, if you watch, and if you go back and watch Franklin, they don't really defend because he's so fast, that shot is so quick, they don't know whether it's going head or body head, because 9 times out of 10 he goes body first. And he's done it a lot. So he goes like the long straight backhand, the left hand, thrown from like almost the upright thrown to the head stance. Then as it's gone, then he drops from the knees and it goes to the body. And he does this 2 or 3 times, and then on the second or the third one, he'll go to the head. And that makes it so hard to defend because whoever it is, in this case Franklin, doesn't know whether that backhand's going high or low. And in the end, he's sort of caught in no man's land, defending nowhere because he knows not where it's going. Then that will land, and then an attack comes off it. It's pure class, really. It's pure class. And you'll even see sometimes when he throws that long backhand, and I wouldn't say it's disguised. I don't know whether this is something he's worked like. It was just the way he throws it. But when he throws that, when you see him go to the body ball, it's not always got full power behind it. Not always. It's almost like setting up off a jab, but he's setting up off the backhand. Yeah, what can you say? What can you say? Moaning about the stoppage? No, come on. I think it was 30 seconds in total from the moment he hit the floor to the moment he got up. I think we've seen that Moses as well. There's one thing he hasn't got, and that's experience. Because there was a few times where after launching a couple of attacks, his kind of feet were out of position, and he got tagged a few times. Nothing that was ever going to trouble him. But, and this is just part of being a very offensive fighter. This is going to happen to you. Being an offensive fighter, a very offensive fighter, is going to lead to you getting hit sometimes. This is boxing after all. There is another guy in there who's trying to take your head off equally as much as what you are him. So it's to be expected. Is that a flaw? No, I think there's a lack of experience just sometimes. And he was quite eager in round 1 after he sort of knew he could sort of, hurt or certainly bother Franklin. There was a bit of a concerted effort maybe to get him out earlier. And he did settle down a little bit. But, hey, just experience. And this is no criticisms. I'm just seeing what I saw. We don't know. I remember seeing after the first round, he did sit down on the stool and he looked like he was blowing. But, again, you're a bit cold at this point. It takes you a few minutes or a few rounds for your cardio level to warm up. So the first initial output will make you blow a little bit. And listen, if he goes high volume, he's human. If he goes high volume round after round after round, there is no doubt he's going to get tired and he's going to start to blow. But he was fine. But these are just, again, not criticisms, just things what I saw on the night, just observations. But yeah, he's dangerous. He's now been installed as WBO mandatory, or number 1 or mandatory, I'm not sure, one of the two, or maybe both, for Fabio Wardley. Now, this causes its own problems, doesn't it? Stablemates, campmates, they share the same team, if you like. Fabio was asked in the sort of the post-fight sort of chat about it, and he said the only way that would be a thing is if Moses held 2 belts, I held 2 belts, and it was a question of unification, and even then we'd have to agree whether we wanted to or not. There's going to be some conflicts of interest there, isn't there? Who knows what will happen? It's a shame because I remember talking to a lot of people before the Franklin fight. I would have preferred the Hrgović fight, and we believe that still might be the case for the future. Is Hrgović. As it is, Hrgović is fighting Dave Allen in what I believe is a totally unwinnable fight. Dave said himself why wouldn't he take this fight for a career highest payday, and quite clearly by some degree a career highest payday. But Dave cannot win that fight. For me, Hrgović has kind of got all the things wrong that you could pick when wanting an opponent for Dave Allen. And listen, I love Dave Allen. Who doesn't love Dave Allen? I love Dave Allen like I love Derek Chisora. Just love Derek because he's mad as a bag of cats, isn't he? But I love Dave Allen. But he's basically admitting himself that this is a checkout fight. Yes, he says, I believe Hrgović is good for me. I believe I can do things against Hrgović. I was talking about this. Come on, we talk about this too. But will there come a point with Dave Allen that we all love Dave Allen? We love him because he's that down-to-earth, everyman, doesn't hide anything. He'll talk about anything, no matter how sort of some people might find certain subjects embarrassing. Dave will talk about him. He's very self-deprecating. I think overly so, to be honest. And I think that's part of the problem. He's not probably had a better career. But will the sort of love affair with Dave Allen wave off a bit, cool off a bit, if the fact that we just keep getting Dave telling us he's going to train hard, telling us he's going to be in the best shape of his life, and then just going into fights that we know he's going to lose because he isn't going to be in the best shape of his life, and he isn't going to be all that he could be. When does that grow a bit tiring? Like I say, I love Dave Allen, but this Hrgović fight, like, I don't know. I suppose I'm going to be watching it for free on whatever platform it's on, DAZN or whatever. I'm assuming it won't be pay-per-view. It fucking shouldn't be. But would I pay for that? Would I, unless you're a Dave Allen fan and you live in Doncaster, would you pay? Would you want to pay to go and see just Dave lose? Dave turn up not in the best shape he can. I don't care what he says. Like, I think the best shape Dave has ever been in, like, especially aesthetically, was, and listen, you might say, oh yeah, but, looking fit doesn't mean you're fit. Well, I tell you what, it means you fucking train better than you did when you come in and you look like shit. So, yeah, will I pay money to see Dave come and lose and not be in shape and kind of not put in as much as he possibly could put in? I mean, that's maybe unfair to say because we're not in there, but, and then there was sort of the Fraser Clark fight where he just sort of said, nah, I've had enough. I've had enough. And listen, like I said, I love Dave Allen, but I've always said I don't begrudge any fighter making as much money as he can, but Dave Allen versus Hrgović, of course I'm going to watch it. We'll watch it, of course we will. But will I pay money expecting any other result than a Hrgović win? And that is going to hold up Hrgović in fighting Moses Itauma if that's next. Because Franklin has a great chin. Franklin's a very smart defensive fighter, but he was killed by the speed. I think at the end of one round, was it round 3 or some round 2, he sat down and basically said he couldn't deal with the speed. And that isn't why he couldn't deal with the speed. He couldn't deal with the speed because the speed was too quick, and because they were too quick, he couldn't see them coming. And Franklin is a great fighter, a great defensive fighter who can see shots coming and deal with them accordingly. He never had the chance against Moses, too quick. Hrgović seen when he doesn't need to see the shots coming to him to be able to absorb them, because he is probably the fucking, outside of, if we're talking about pound for pound great chins, I think Canelo's still the best chin in world boxing, but Hrgović is fucking right behind him, I think. So that would be a real test to see how far, because Hrgović doesn't really get discouraged either. He didn't really get discouraged against Daniel Dubois, did he? He was in there throwing and still pitching. And I don't think Hrgović is. I think Hrgović favours the right hand, and I don't think he throws the right hand particularly well. Not enough to generate as much power out of it as he could. But that would be the fight I want to see. Moses Itauma, certainly for me, the best offensive heavyweight at work today. There were so many combinations from the way he moves, the speed of foot, the speed of hand, and he throws. The other problem is as well, is he's just a great counterpuncher as well, an instinctive counterpuncher, especially with that right hook. Throws it instinctively after the other guy's thrown his shot and either shifts or moves and throws that counter left hook, right hook. He's a real problem. He's a real problem and could be around for a very long time. I don't think, even at this point, even though he's beat Franklin convincingly, easily, I don't still want to see them up the pace. I want to see him continue with experience fights where he can gain more experience before going in at the real top end, because I want to see the most potential extracted out of Moses that there is to extract. I don't want to see him fast tracked. I don't want to see corners cut. Saying that, who'd you give him? Who is going to pose a problem from Moses at this level to Moses to the very top level? Maybe no one will. Maybe he gets rid of Hrgović in mid-rounds as well. And then if he does, we have to say, well, fuck, you might as well put him in because there's no one going to test him. Yeah, anyway, that was it. I'll see you all soon.